because this is our next guest. It is, of course, the amazing Mr. Jimmy Page. Jimmy, it's great to have you here, and I nearly went to the wrong corner there. You've got this record out, which is Led Zeppelin, very incredibly rare tapes that were nearly lost forever. Is Led Zeppelin at the BBC. First of all, where do the tapes? What are the tapes of?
Well, in the days of like Led Zeppelin, in the very early days that we set out, say 1969, 1968, 1969, the album comes out. In America, we had that, well, there was FM radio, underground radio, which was like, the Led Zeppelin one was just perfect for that sort of airplay over there. But over here in England, as we weren't doing singles, we weren't getting any airplay at all. So there were a number of little shows that there were, like Top Gear on the BBC. Another one was like Chris Grant's Tasty Pop Sunday.
Yeah,
and you go to like the BBC studios at Maida Vale, etc., and Aeolian Hall, have a small slot in which to sort of record whatever it was that you were going to try and get across. So that basically is what these are about. So this was our airplay at the time.
Alexis Corner, those shows you want to exactly. So the people who like blues and stuff, underground stuff was happening. But I thought, well, wait, we can go and hear those tapes, but they're lost, right? Nobody's
there was one session, the Alexis Corner session was lost. Well, they didn't have the tapes; they'd lost them. It was on a, as I say, we were going in and recording these slots of maybe 3, 4 numbers. And it was for the BBC World Service Rhythm and Blues show, hosted by Alexis Corner. As we know, Alexis was a real sort of ambassador of the blues over here. But they didn't have the tapes. And the story is, there's a song on here called Sunshine Woman, and it was recorded in Eastern Europe with somebody off of the radio with a microphone onto a reel-to-reel tape. Which would make sense, wouldn't it? That they were playing
so it's a man in Eastern Europe. In the Eastern Bloc, in the Cold War.
In the Cold War.
In the Cold War, no walls have come down yet.
Yeah.
He's got his illegal tape machine out.
Yeah.
Probably Grundig. And then he's got Led Zeppelin on there.
Yeah.
And then, but how do you get that?
Then about, let's say, about 20 years ago, it sort of surfaces. Not even that. 10 years ago, it surfaces on the bootleg market. And so you're aware of it. There's a couple of other songs from the session as well, like You Shook Me and Can't Quit You Baby. They're real blues stuff. And so anyway, there you go. That's it. We managed to get access to like a good bootleg copy.
Yeah,
now that's there's only those 3 tracks. Everything else is from the BBC analog and digital.
Archives and stuff. Well, they did manage to, because I think they wiped the moon landings, but they kept the important stuff.
Well, you got it.
It's really fantastic to have you. By the way, I think Jack White's there. He's a great fan of yours, like I am. Have you seen Jack?
Well, I'm a great fan of Jack's too.
Hello. You right there, Jack? Hey!
Yeah.
Yes. He sent a record to the moon, you know.
Yes,
just thinking about all of that, you know, old stuff that goes on.
That's
Well, I've got to move on because it's a live show and there's only 30 seconds. Thank you so much for joining us, Jimmy Page, with some of this is incredibly rare Led Zeppelin stuff that you can now get. Thank goodness for that bloke in Eastern Europe with his microphone. Let's move on to a marvellous